की ऐसी देखी कहाँ, जाने ना रखना कहाँ है यीशुआ, गुरबत तेरी बेपाना, हाँ मेरे यीशुआ, रहमतों का तू ही दरिया, तुझको क्यों मेरी चाहत में ना कुछ और दिखा, मुझको पाने को तू सबसे गया, दीवानगी ऐसी देखी कहाँ, जाने ना रुकना कहाँ यीशु।
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5 of season 6 of the Faith Next podcast. We've titled this season The Storyteller, and we're looking at the greatest storyteller this world, solar system, this galaxy, this universe has ever seen, Jesus Christ, and the type of stories that he told, which we call parables. Of course, for the last 4 episodes, I had some great co-hosts with me, and of course, for episode 5, bring out the best of the best. Right? We have the man himself, the man who you guys may not know, some of the greatest minds behind much of what Word Loving does and has done. He's a husband, a father, a member of the boys. It's Irvin Legal. All is well?
Very well, yeah.
Right,
Thanks for having me here once again.
Yes, and of course, our special guest today is somebody who's no stranger to the Word Loving movement. He was a double faith ex-speaker, which is not a feat most people have. So he has that pin. He has spoken about doubt, and he also spoke at our Faith X finale. He's also a teacher, a father, a husband, a leader, and somebody who has a really beautiful way of breaking down the story of Scripture. Known him for a while. I love these long-winded introductions. They're so unnecessary, and I love it. I remember one of the first things I ever learned from him was what a doulahin was, and that just randomly came back to my mind. I remember when we guys used to live up down in college. You know what doulahin is? And anyway, so the teacher of a doulahin to me today, our special guest, guest, Andrew Legal. All is well?
Yeah, but the guest is so nice. I know you a long time. I know you a very long time. So it's so kind of strange, but they're familiar. So before. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so let's get to know you. So we probably know you, but those out there probably don't know you too well. So one of the questions we can ask everybody is, what keeps you busy these days?
Yeah, I'm afraid of them type of questions. Listen, I'm just honestly what I'm trying to do is to and not to get caught up just trying to live. So I'm just trying to read more and do other things too. I end up in some kind of production, like not behind in front of a stage or anything, but in a production. So that I'm feeling happy about that.
Shakespeare?
No,
To be or not to be? I mean, you're dressing like
somebody called me and asked me to do something, so I said, let me try. So I just try new things now.
Well, will that answer the next question? Because I wanted to find out like something that you're really passionate about or excited about currently, if it has something. I guess that's it.
No.
That's it? But that's it. I'll get into that.
What am I passionate about? Reading. I get to read now, yes, because I used to read before. Some people don't like to read, but I like to read a lot, but haven't gotten time, you know it is with family. But now I'm at a stage where I could read a little bit, so I'm happy about that. Get to learn new things. What else? Anything new, yes?
Are you one of those people who will like, okay, physical books only, no digital, or it doesn't matter to you, just read anything?
I could be snobbish, but no. But I prefer to turn them pages, man. Yeah. Then you could rest it down, pick it up here.
What would you say is, beside the Bible, what is it probably the best book you've ever read?
Wow. Well, there are several candidates, boy. Based on how they changed my life. The first book that blew my mind was a book called Searching for a God to Love by Chris Blake. I liked that book so much that I gave away, no lie, about 40 copies of that book.
Yeah, so you gave me one.
Yeah, I guess it's a biome giveaway.
Yeah.
Well, as I
Cole Porter. Literature evangelist himself. All right, I'll go back to this introduction. Literature evangelist.
That one blew my mind. Still relevant today. Right, the other book that I like a lot is Mere Christianity. I read that book over several times. Strange enough, plenty of readers like to read over books. I don't like to read over books. But I read that one over several times. The last book I read was The God Who Trusts, which is a wild book, but it's probably one of the best books I've read in the last year, boy. It's up there.
I'll check it out and see.
Yeah, I'll play out over that one.
But it's nice, yeah.
So, well, given that, you know, a thespian and a thespian and an avid reader, if you were to give your life, a season of your life, a title, if you're going to make a blockbuster film about Andrew's current season, what we would call it?
Are you prototype? I just trying things.
That's
Just trying things.
a steampunk kind of film.
I like it.
Trying to stay active, trying to do different things and not get.
Right, permanent in cinemas. Summer prototype.
No, but that sounds like an action movie, guy.
Yeah.
Life is so action right now, eh?
But that's something that you would have wished that you could have done a little sooner, or is it something that you're trying to do now? Just to let's take things that goes and try new things and stuff like
If
that.
I tell you how I get there,
Tell us. Tell us.
wow. I have to be very careful what I say.
Okay.
Oh, NDAs, okay, you're gonna reach out
You
that.
sign it after. You sign it.
I came to a realization that this may answer a question you may ask me later on. I came to a realization that there is no one best way that God expects you to live your life, and that you can't stay a parked car. So God just wanted to move. When I realized how much my actions matter and how much input God expected us to have in the future and to create the future, I realized, well, we could do stuff. Like I could try things, and it doesn't matter if I fail. I don't mean that God didn't want that. You know, God is a man that, you know, likes when people move, you know. That's why I say. So once I understood that's the best way I could put it for now, I said, well, let me just do things, you know. Some things may work, some things may not. But, you know, I'm going for it, yeah.
I like that. I can't touch him back on when we did the talents.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly that.
Like move it. I like it.
Yeah, but we ain't gonna reach it yet.
Yeah.
So we have something we call a bridging question, which kind of leads us to the parable that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And so the question I ask for you is, what would you say makes something truly valuable?
Yeah, this is very interesting, right? I don't know if I'll answer the question properly, but these are thoughts that I have about value, because on the open market, right, the value of something is what you pay, is what somebody pays for it, right? So I guess that's the standard definition of value. But really and truly, if somebody pays a lot for something and other people they may say, well, that wasn't worth that. So yeah, so some of it is how much you're willing to pay, but on the other hand, there must be some recognized worth, I guess maybe even by others, of the object itself. So some kind of worth beforehand that kind of goes into it, I would think, right? You know, I guess if you have a lot of money, the answer to this changes, right? Yeah.
But somebody kind of caught me off guard like that. Some years ago asking me, okay, what gives you value? Mm-hmm. And what makes you valuable? And I started thinking about all kinds of things, trying to say what the things you do, what to put forward, these kind of things. And they said, no, well, you initially have value already. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of goes along with what you're saying. It kind of made me think about working to create value for yourself, or to be something, or to have value initially. You have to do something. It's all about what you could do and stuff. And they said, no, you have to remember God and the value that He placed on you from way before. You are valuable even before you did anything. Wow. So it was interesting. So when you said, kind of took me back to that. So anyway, you know.
Okay, so today we're talking, I guess we have a type of value conversation that we're going to have. We're going to be looking at, I suppose it's I think it's the shortest fashion that we're talking about, which is just probably easiest to read from what we're talking about, the parable of the hidden treasure. So just give us bullet points.
Oh, what the parable is there? I guess what the parable.
A man went next door and saw some treasure in a field, and so he buried it again. It makes you wonder why he went in the neighbor field, eh? I was digging up, you know. Anyway, sorry, I was supposed to say what it was about. I buried it again, and then he sold everything he had, apparently very willingly, and bought the field, and then I guess the treasure was his.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simple.
Very willingly, because the text said with joy. Alright, cool.
So what now we're asking questions, what scenes stand out for you in this story, but there's just one scene.
Yeah, it was one scene. But why you in the neighbor yard though?
I'm trying to figure out why he was there. I can't say it.
I don't know what people would think of that these days if you go. But you know, the parable, interestingly enough, it implies that the man who owned the field did not know what was there. Because he could act, maybe the owner buried his treasure in his own field. You know?
I was telling in last episode about this is connected to the talents. Right? This is what the man would bury in the field.
Yes, he found it.
All right. So here's
Somebody found it.
Yeah.
And $2 million.
$2 million.
Heavy connection.
Somewhere I was reading, somewhere was saying that people would have buried treasure for different reasons, to evade taxes and all the kind of things, and maybe the people who buried it before that die and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like somewhere I was reading, I can't remember where, but saying that's why some treasures were hidden, just to evade thieves and
I mean, we
taxes.
feel like pirate shoes and thing, X marks the spot. No, I just reinforce
Black bed, I don't know, white bed. Okay, yeah.
So when you read this story, like what are some things that really jump out at you? What are some elements of it?
Well, let me just tell you how this parable kind of hit me, right? Because, you know, you're growing up, and you're growing up in church, right? So they say this is what the kingdom of heaven is like, right? So what you are initially taught, or at least what I initially was taught, was that you find the kingdom of heaven, and so you give up everything that you have in order to gain the kingdom of heaven. And that was it for many years. I don't want to say next thing, people guess my age, right? But then, they start to subtract. But you know, it hit me one day, right? And I was thinking about it. You know, what if we are the treasure, and God is the man who found us, and gave up everything, as we say in the person of Jesus Christ, to gain us, or at least to make provision for us. And that changed a lot for me, because I began to say, well, it's not about now me doing things. I mean, talk about doing things, being productive, doing things. It's not about doing things now. It's I already have value, and God put that value on me, and I had to prove it. You know, He gave up everything, and that's the start of a lot of things. Yeah.
I was wondering if to go on to jump, but just to jump a little further, the next verse was with the pearl, right? And the pearl basically is something like that, I guess. I want to say, I see what you're saying, but I wonder if it's with the pearl story too, that shows that, you know, the merchant who searched for pearls and stuff like that, and then they found this stumbled upon this pearl and decided to, you know, sell everything he had just to get that great pearl, you know. So I see in what you're saying in that parable, that, you know, God is the merchant.
I think they get from both ends, you know. Everybody has to be all in on the kingdom then. Like on your end and on God's end. You know, and God starts first. And to go back to something you were saying before, right, about where your value comes from, right? Excuse me. You know, we were talking about, you know, I thought about this recently. I think you might have heard me talk about it. You know, they say, right, that Christ died for us, right? And I always wondered, well, why did He die for us? They say He died for us, and so we have worth. Look at what the sacrifice Christ made on the cross for us. So we have worth. But if we were worthless, what did He die for us for? So then what was our word to him? What made him want to die for us? I'm just thinking, I just thought about it. And I'm saying, so I came up with this idea, which you've heard before, probably called the Millionaire Project. Not millionaire like money, but millionaire.
Okay.
So the idea was basically that
Pun intended.
well, yeah. The idea was that for you to have to be here now, God had to have thought you up beforehand. And he was never born, so that means that he always thought about you. So if you're not immortal. I'm not immortal. I can feel that, right? But the thought of you is immortal, right? It's always been there. It's as old as God Himself, really. Yeah. So then, in a sense, you and I have always been part of what God wanted to do, in a sense. And He's like been waiting for you to come, for your time to come. And so you are part of Him for a long while, at least in His mind anyway, right? So that we are valuable in that way. That's why He would say, well, I've been waiting, since the beginning of time, and then before the earth, He's thinking, yes, correct, there, you reach now. So He's put a lot into you, and so that gave me a little insight more into like why He would value us and why He would want to come and make that sacrifice for us.
Correct me, steer me in the right direction, or correct me if I'm wrong and stuff, right? But I always had an issue with, I always had an issue with just hearing us or people describe us humans as like wretched and like that kind of thing. But that's bothered me so bad because
Speak for yourself, not Richard.
okay, because I understand the idea, but it kind of diminishes the word that we have, and instead of my God die for something that wretched and worthless and that kind of thing, like low and stuff. I don't know, it kind of strange. So I don't know if it has any meaning or thing. I don't know if you understand where I'm going, but
yeah, I understand where you're going, right? Hear what I'm saying, right? You know what FUD is? FUD?
like
Fair and certainty.
okay, nah,
So like if what you was going to say,
I was thinking like what further I mean like
okay. No. FUD is this idea that you have a product to sell, right? But it's not really that good. So you just say about bad talk his product. So you say, listen, that mango's been out all day in the sun. Mango's small and they're half forced, right, babe? But you don't know where those mangoes have been. They've been boiling for 2 days. You just say you never really sell it on the merits. So I like to say, like, God, we don't have to be small for God to be big. Like, if you understand what I'm saying, a lot of people have this idea that we have to look bad for God. He's good on His own. So we don't have to be like this kind of, just call it womb theology. You know a word for it. Like, if you're wretched, you don't, degrade human beings. And as a matter of fact, if you say, right, we are made in God's image, if you degrade who human beings are, then you're kind of degrading the image of God. The thing is that of course, we have flaws, right? But we were made to bear His image. So we were supposed to reflect Him in some way. We're still around, He didn't replace us. So that, degrading human beings and saying, degrading our worth and thing it's like a backhand kind of slap to God. Because we're supposed to be His prime creation. We're in a certain shape now, But you know what I mean, right? That's what I think, yeah.
And not to do it too long, but I feel like if that is what like Paul and they just use that language just because that's maybe how they felt in the moment, but that doesn't mean it's language that we're supposed to take take one on us.
That's just exactly right. But if you're writing a letter, this is how I feel at this point. But to me, the most of the Bible is about saying, who you belong to, and then a peculiar people, a royal nation. Peculiar is our next story.
That's good. Thailand. Just one thing I thought about, the coins don't stop. Like the coins, I don't know what exact the currency was, but the coins or whatever doesn't stop having value if it had mud on it. Because I'm assuming if it's buried, it's muddy and it's singing, and it's like, nah, I can't use muddy coins. But the value of it remains, even though it may have.
Unless the central bank recalls.
Well, of course. Fair enough, because one cent has no value to that, right? But outside of the Central Bank of Jerusalem or Bethlehem, the value of the thing didn't stop. Kind of like the location of the thing didn't affect its actual value. But I mean, sometimes from a kind of harking back to some previous conversations we had, especially as it relates to the story of the prodigal son, and how we view people where, well, their particular location diminishes their actual value. They are less valuable because them there, he depicts that in the father's house. So I have more value because I am the particular location. Right? But the coin itself, whether the coin in your pocket or it was in the buried in the field, we could actually buy the same hummus. I don't know.
Shoe bread. Well, I don't know. Sweet bread. I was trying to figure out something, right? This is something else that I was wondering in the parable with the treasure that was hidden. The guy basically seemed like he stumbled upon it. In the one with the pearl, it was a merchant who knew about pearls looking for more pearls, and he found it because he was searching. And then he found it, and both of them found it, and they did what they could do to get it. He was telling this story to his disciples at the time. Why do you think he was speaking to them? Like, why they were supposed to know, they were working with him all the time. Like, so why he had to more try to reiterate the story of the words of the kingdom, or the story of the kingdom to them? Like, I just was wondering about that. Is it that they knew but they didn't fully understand the value of it, or maybe it was a kind of exclusive thing they thought, I guess, that, well, the kingdom is really for us, but I don't know, I just wondering.
Well, it was a long string, right? A long string of parables. And I don't think they understood what the kingdom was about. Really and truly, they were living in some strange times. I think there was a lot of revolution in the air, because leading up to that time, remember, at some point in the past, Israel had been an independent state for a short while. Now they were under Roman occupation and had lots of messiahs everywhere, claiming to us, this is the time when we take back our rightful place. And I think down to the end, they didn't really understand what the kingdom was all about, or what Jesus was trying to achieve. I think they thought it was military, so you had to keep telling them to get around their defenses, telling them in story form. So that's what I think,
In terms of the story, I wonder, just to put ourselves into the parable itself, being the, let's say, it's your brother. Let's say Andrew is the guy who finds the treasure.
Yeah, we could pretend.
Yeah. So let's say you and Andrew are brothers. Right? Andrew goes in the field, Andrew finds his treasure, and you just see Andrew selling car, selling turtleneck, selling everything he has. But you know that, but this field has no actual value. What then becomes your response to Andrew's boy, what are we doing? I do quit the job. I don't need to teach no more. I'm gonna become a real actor now. What would you think you respond in that situation?
If I was to see that, well, I'll be curious for sure. What's going on with him? What is the situation surrounding this? Is this time going mad? So I mean, I'll be very curious.
Would you tell me?
Well, I'll come and ask you. Well, what's going on here?
I see this London fool boy.
I did find out what really happening here, if everything is alright. But it will definitely cause some curiosity, and I guess curiosity will be the start of ever getting to learn to figure out, okay, why are you doing such a thing? Why so extreme? Why you can't just why everything, you know, I mean, how you survive tomorrow, or, you know, you work so hard to get this vehicle, you know, you finally pay off this thing, you're going and start it again, or what, how you survive, and yeah, I will definitely have that type of position there. But I jump in with him and sell my thing too.
Where do you invest? You know?
Yeah, they're jumping this water.
I jump into
Because it's like, well, I wonder, and I know there's the idea of being God's actions, and thing, but I think there's also an element of our actions when we discover the beauty of Christ, how we respond. And I think perhaps maybe our half-heartedness in responding to this beautiful treasure that doesn't necessarily, like, I guess we could, the Christian life may not necessarily in the open look like it's not an orchard. It's not like you can look and say, oh, trees like trees galore. So we're very, dirty, literally, right? Very, very dirty and muddy and not always clean. And so it's not always appealing to everybody else. But kind of just like how Irvin mentioned about you going all in, build some kind of curiosity in Irvin's mind. Okay, what? Okay, I mean, I know he has some loose screws before, but something here must be making some kind of sense. And perhaps our lack of going all in sometimes is not, were we able to trigger people's like curiosity about this life, about this particular field, that there may be value here.
Let me see if I get what you're saying, right? Are you asking like from the perspective of someone who knows Jesus or has been, who says I'm a Christian? Are you asking whether or not me not going all in might put other people off or not raise any kind of curiosity?
Yes, something along those lines. Okay. Or whether or not, yeah, something like that.
Well, what I would say, right? The story doesn't talk about any other person. I'm just saying that to say that clearly he saw something, right? Clearly he saw something that would compel him to sell all that he has, right? So I really do think the question now becomes, what have you seen, right? Is there anything really in this, how you say you're a Christian or you're a follower of Christ? Is there anything that will compel you to give up everything you have for it? I mean, we don't, I was going to say we don't live in a time of sacrifice, but then we all go to the grocery. But, I mean, we're not being persecuted, you know, so we are not be tested in that way, right? But I would like to think that I think I'm all in, right? I think I'm all in. What that means, I hope God does soon decide to test it. But
I heard on episode 5, you were saying you were all in. I just wanna verify.
No, I think no, but you know, I do think that everybody has to have their own personal encounter. It may spark curiosity, you know, to see somebody really give up. But I think that God makes his own personal appeal. The man was looking for something, really. As he point, he was searching for something. So he was in a place where because he was in the neighbor's field, which you're not supposed to be there, right? And he was looking for something. And if I put it together with the pearl, the merchant was searching. So both of them were searching, and well, they found. So he was looking for something, and well, what are you looking for? What are you looking for?
It's true, because based on your exposure or your habit of reading a long time, I think it impressed me or motivated me or the rest of us to read, because I mean, just like that, I turned out to be somebody who liked to read before. So, and what would I read? Go and read your books, whatever book you bring home. I go and buy my own books, you see? Harry Boys or whatever. Go to the library. Line up.
Yeah, you know.
Travel.
Good financial sense. Yeah.
So, you know, so I guess, as you say, it would be curiosity. What's these guys doing? What are they doing? Reading things? So they learn to read, they decide to read too. So we read whatever it has, and what have you brought. So I see what I mean, the curiosity could then, you know, encourage and motivate others to do to do things like that, you know.
Is there any part of this, this very short story that probably makes you uncomfortable, like uneasy, like that's a tough pill to swallow, or those kind of elements of it at all?
Well, the only thing that, as I explained before, that had made me really uncomfortable, part of how you live, I was telling somebody, as you get older, you just basically responding to what you went through before, you know, just trying to unravel everything. So it was for me trying to come out of like performance-based religion. So maybe not the story itself, but how it was brought across. This idea that you must do things, and have you done enough? And have you prayed? And have you prayed enough? And have you read? I read the Bible through in a year. Have you read the Bible through in a year? You know, and I memorized so many texts. And have you done it? And it could become very performative, and you know, so this idea that I have to, that interpretation that I must do more, really that sucked the life out of me, I'll be honest. It really did. And then one day I said I had to be happy in this thing. You being a Christian, you had to be happy. That's what I said to myself, and that kind of changed the way I saw things, you know. Yeah, I started to think differently. It wasn't being a Christian, you're not happy. Well, you know, yeah.
Trying to be.
Okay, how do you, this is just based on what you said, how do you square that with, I guess, the idea that blessed are ye when men shall revile thee and persecute you and say all manner of evil against thee for my name's sake. Blessed are the poor, blessed are the, like, how do you, I guess, combine those?
People expect, and they say, you know, ease is not guaranteed in the Christian life, and then we look up to those who suffered in the faith, and so we say, well, very noble, but that doesn't mean that we're supposed to suffer, you know. And it doesn't mean that they were better than us. It means that they were faithful where they were asked to be faithful, right? There's a different type of faithfulness required when things are generally easy, you know. All right, because now when things are easy, what are you gonna do? This is why remember the rich young ruler, we were supposed to stray and go there? No, but anyway, no, but see, what was his trial? Well, he had none until Jesus told him, well, sell everything. So now, are you going to be faithful at this point in your life? So, I mean, you know, looking at the Bible, you get all sorts of inspiration. But, I mean, there is no indication from where I read my Bible that we're supposed to be dour and sour and suffering. And some people never experience much suffering in their lives. Other people a lot. All right, but there are ways to be faithful anywhere you are and however your life is. You have to be God will call you in different ways. Yeah.
All right, as a teacher, right? So I guess we could annotate if we want, but as a teacher, I know you have a passion or just an interest in helping shape the lives of young people. So it's not just a role as a teacher, but that's just who you are. Mm-hmm. And we could have seen it, you know, we growing up, and we know. You have to tell some young person something based on what we just went through here. Mm-hmm. How would you pitch this idea of value, of searching, of words, of God? How would you pitch this parable to them and everything I just discussed there to that person?
Wow, well, this is what I try to do every day. I don't know how successful I am. Well, there are several things that I notice. Okay, so society swings left and right? They have these correctives. One of the bigger things now is people realizing, well, you don't have to be mistreated. You don't have to accept being mistreated, right? We talk about personal space. We talk about boundaries, and all these things are important. But sometimes we swing to a side whereby we say, okay, there are certain people I will remove from my life.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you're running a class, you're trying to get a kind of a balance. Yes, you want to teach your children that there are boundaries and there's acceptable and unacceptable behavior. But it's very easy now to just lock people off. And that's my hardest battle with my students, to tell them that just as you said, that people already have value. People have value. And how do you recognize the value in people who are otherwise making your life difficult or you otherwise don't like? How do you see that they are valuable people as well? Because I will tell them this, I know they call it rage bait now. I will tell them, why don't you talk to so and so? I mean, they're cool. And then they'll say, but you're the teacher. They talk to you. So there's something to that, right? I mean, my relationship to the other student, when I see the student, I'm seeing the positive in them. I'm seeing the positive in you. And I'm telling them, I know it's more complicated than this, but just to cause trouble, right? Well, I cause trouble too. I will say, why don't you all get along? These are the good qualities. These are the good qualities. But, so you see, you want to get them to be able to see the good in others and to be able to what faults do I overlook, or how do I work with other people rather than just lock them off, and that's a huge thing for me, because I feel as if, remember, the Christian message is all about grace and redemption. And I feel like if we're in a society where that does not exist, or there's no concept of it, well, how are they going to understand it? And when we start to say, well, there's grace, God gives you grace, and God forgives. I remember Jesus said, if you don't forgive others, we interpret it as he won't forgive you. A better way to look at it is you won't be able to receive the forgiveness he has for you. This may sound crazy, but I say God always forgives. But forgiveness is more than just saying, well, all right, remember you're damaged. So part of forgiveness is being able to receive healing. So to do that, you have to be repentant, or else you're not going to go. It's like a doctor. The doctor could say, well, boy, you bust your head there.
I forgive you.
I forgive you, yes. I forgive you for disobeying. But your head bleeding, So part of forgiveness is the healing, right? And the point I was trying to make, hold on, it's coming back. Right, the point I was trying to make is that, so we often say, well, forgive so God will forgive you. It's more that if you are not in a position to forgive other people, you'll not be in a position to receive the forgiveness that God already hands out. Because God don't hold grudges, but not out there saying, and the last time you did this and the last time you did that. But if you're in a bad position, you need help, and so you need to be able to have that disposition. Hey, I need to be forgiving, I need to be understanding, so when it comes to God and your own life, and you could receive that from him. So I think that's a big thing, with those youth. Well, the ones I have in my class anyway.
Okay, no problem.
I like that. Seems like a nice place to end.
Yeah.
That there is also healing required, not just forgive. I know you have been rewatching Conversations with God recently.
Right.
Yeah, I've been rewatching. So that is
very cryptic.
that just
you might find out.
Yeah, conversation with God, and that God could completely heal the damage done.
Yes, he can.
It's like a nice recurring. So if you guys want to learn more about that specific thing, I don't know how you'll learn, but we'll share it sometime. sometime in the future. It's quality stuff, quality. Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time to tackle this treasure. I know you love being in front of the camera.
Enjoy.
I think you enjoy now.
Great joy.
Well, yeah, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you on the big screen. On the stage.
Now when you come backstage and you're past this.
Even thanks a lot for supporting it. I mean, you could have said no, but
Sure, I gotta say that.
and thank you guys so much for thank you so much for watching. So to wrap it up, we're going to ask Andrew to pray for us.
Sure.
Pray that we'll be able to live whatever would have touched people's, whatever fell in people's garden, that God will allow it to grow and bloom.
Heavenly Father, we love you very, very much. And we're looking at this parable and we see the value that you placed on us. And we know that it's been something, our life and our moment is something you've been waiting on for a very long time. And so we know our response really matters, dear Father. So if there's anyone who's hearing this, dear Lord, I'm praying that you will speak to them, should give them a glimpse of what you were imagining or dreaming for them before it was their time, all those years ago. Give them that sort of glimpse to awaken in them, reawaken in them, as it were, a fire, some kind of urge to step on it and to step into what you have imagined for them and their talents and how they fit into that, dear Lord. So we know that you will do this because that's what you do every day, all day, even when you're sleeping. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right. Thank you guys. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one. It's going to be the last one.
यीशुआ गुरबत तेरी बेपना हाँ मेरे यीशुआ रहमतों का तू ही दरिया तुझको क्यों मेरी चाहत में ना कुछ और दिखा मुझको पाने को तू सबसे गया दीवानगी ऐसी देखी कहाँ जाने ना रुकना कहाँ ओ यीशुआ यीशुआ गुरबत तेरी बेपना हाँ मेरे यीशुआ रहमतों का तू ही दरिया तुझको क्यों मेरी चाहत में ना कुछ और दिखा मुझको पाने को तू सबसे गया